going.
We're going.
We're going.
So I have to introduce today, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do this. I feel like I'm never going to know how to do this. That is a very slow sip there.
So I had an idea of the thirst factor
Uh-huh.
in relationship. So we need to start like, you got yours, I got mine. Hey, Brandy, you thirsty? Oh yeah.
Okay.
For these shoes.
Okay, see, you come up with the good ideas and then I'll just like execute it. So we ready to go.
Let's go for it.
Okay. Hey Miranda, are you thirsty?
Oh yeah. I'm thirsty for these ships. Let's go.
So welcome back. And if you could not already tell us, talking about thirst, we are talking about ships today. You know,
Hey.
this is the episode that's either gonna get people to love us or hate us, because I know that some of us have some um, hills that they will die on.
It's not a hill, Cassidy. It is a mountain.
Oh,
It
I'm
is
sorry.
Mount Everest that I will climb to the top with no oxygen tank and die on top of this mountain.
You would die before you got to the top. Let's just be honest here.
No, my passion for this topic will make me get all the way there.
Okay.
Anyway.
Anyways, so to start off with, obviously, like, we know that there are lots of like actual relationships, like ones that did happen that are canon within the show. So, Katara and Aang. Katang. That's just how I say it. That's how I say it in my head, like Katang, because you have like the two A's,
It's like, no,
Um,
I don't want any tang. Sorry, old inside joke.
oh my gosh. Which, as like as I've previously stated in an earlier episode, obviously this is like my ship, right? Like this is why I started watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is my like heart and soul. I mean, I there's no dying with the ship. It's real. They have kids. Their kids have kids.
One of them's dead.
What the why we gotta be sad today, Miranda? I thought this was gonna be a happy day, talking about happy relationships.
It is happy. They had 3 beautiful children.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna move on. Uh, but like, okay, so like as a couple, right? So we're not obviously just talking about like, ha ha ha, here are all the ships. We'll talk about them like as a couple, like how they like work, don't work, whatever. So obviously I like really enjoyed it. I think that it's very I don't even know how to like, I guess cliche would be the best way. Just like, I guess like the way that it was like executed, but it's like very like, it was set up from the beginning, right? Like it's set up from the beginning that Aang was like goo goo gaga eyes over like Katara, because he's like been trying to like impress her from like the beginning. But like I think one of the things that with this like relationship as a whole for me is like it started out like that, but like I think Aang, as he grew in the 1 month that the show spanned, he grew a lot mentally in that 1 month.
Physically.
I mean, yes, and physically, but like I think
Grows fast.
yeah, I know. To think about the fact that it's just 1 month, like, there's a little bit of a
It only took 4 years to get through.
yeah. But like I think that like his progression throughout it made it work better, because like I don't think that I would have stayed on the ship if he didn't grow up.
I think what I enjoyed about the Aang and Katara ship is that it wasn't forced. It just, they made it naturally happen, you know. And then what is it? They get to the Cave of Two Lovers, and that's kind of like when it suffices itself. But the fact that, and we'll talk about Legend of Korra stuff, but a lot of that stuff was kind of like forced on because they were trying to get through a lot of stuff really quickly. But I enjoy like just the natural progression of it just naturally happening there, and it wasn't forced and shoved down your throat like some are.
Well, and I think so. I think that also goes back to like one of the reasons why I like Avatar: Last Airbender so much is like, yes, it took a really long time, like progression wise, and you think about like all three books spanning like one summer, like that's yeah, like what a book a month, but like because it was just all summer, right? Like it was like, or was it a month?
It was just a month.
Just a month. Oh Jesus. Okay. Either way, like the progression of like the storyline and how like everything kind of like unfolded didn't feel like it was rushed, right? It didn't feel like it was a month. Because like obviously, like if we were watching this and it was like an in-person thing, it'd feel a little weird. Like 'cause it'd be like, like this kid is like super into this girl, and then by the end of the month, they're together. Like
Yeah.
but like it didn't feel like a month, right? Like that's like you talk about, like we talk about, like it's been a month. How has it been a month? But I think that like that's one of the things that the show did really well was that it progressed like the growth of like the show itself. But like I think I honestly don't know if their audience wasn't such like an older audience, if it like would have been like full blown Endgame.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, cause like they waited so long for it because like in all honesty, like if this was like purely just a kids show, it would have been like the unrequited love. Like he just like really like wanted her to love him. Like that's what would have happened because that's what happens in like all cartoons. Like
Yeah, the fact that they hinted on it so much, like every once in a while throughout the series, throughout all the books, and then you get to the Cave of Two Lovers, and then right before they would kiss, like the light goes out, it left that little cliffhanger for when the final episode did come. Because again, they wanted to focus on Aang's story and not the fact that, oh, this is about, him finding somebody and saving the Airbender. It was literally about them ending the 100-Year War, and the
yeah.
fact that this could just blossom out of it was was it was done very very nicely.
Yeah, and like I don't think that, and I don't, I mean there obviously there's like issues, like I'm not gonna like be like there's like no issues in any of like the stuff, but like I think that they I think did the progression like really well. And I know there's probably gonna be some people who'll be like, "Ugh, like Qatar and Zuko deserve to be together, blah blah blah."
It is.
Um
There it is.
so look, look, here's the thing, right? I think that if I did not get into the show because of Aang and Katara's relationship, I probably would have shipped Katara and Zuko.
Yeah, so that's another thing, and I think that one kind of came about when she had her little adventure with Zuko. The fact that she
I wouldn't say that. I would
what
say
for you.
uh the so the episode where she like says like she should heal like Zuko's scar, because that's before that, because that's
You're
before he
right.
like
You're right.
that that would have been the like defining point, I think.
Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about it. How did I forget about that? And then then her adventure with Zuko would have like nail in coffin. So
Right, because like I do think that like as a relationship they would work really well together, because like especially with like okay, this is gonna sound like really bad, it's just like how relationships work, okay? Okay. Um, but I guess like especially with like Zuko's upbringing, right? And like how he kind of like lost his mom. She's not dead. She's like lost his mom. But like that's kind of like that role that Katara always ends up playing, is like someone who will take care of
yeah, she
the
has
other
a
person.
very motherly role to her.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I'm the mom friend, right? So, like, I get it. But, like, I think that, like, they complement each other a lot really well because, like, with, like, the episode with Katara going on her, like, adventure with Zuko, like, that's okay, I'm gonna, like, be probably a little cringy here. That's, like, my least favorite episode, right? But only because I don't like to see Katara like that, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not that it's a bad episode, right? Like I really think that it's a good episode if it makes me not like it because my favorite character is put in a position that I don't like, right? Okay, not my
You don't want
favorite
to see your
character,
favorite
but
character hurt, like or
yeah,
hurt
I mean like
because
I say favorite character, but I'm like all of them are my favorite, right? Like let's go.
yeah, because so and then so like with Zuko and Katara, like whenever she healed him, they both kind of opened up to each other, like in a way that you're like, wait a minute, hold on. And then when they had that one, it again they were a little bit older at the time, so they were actually confiding in one another for the fact that Zuko lost his mom, and then the Fire Nation actually killed Katara's mom, but Zuko wanted to help right that wrong, and it was kind of like an opening moment between the two of them. It was like a chapter that they needed to close on their friendship, you know. So I think it was that way, but like you said, you don't want to see like your favorite character have to go through something like that, but it needed to happen to just continue the story along.
Well, and I think also, so like one of the things that kind of like sticks with me on like all of that, right, is like Katara was kind of like pretty far gone, right? Like that's like I said, it's one of the reasons why I don't like the episode, just because like it makes me feel a little more than I ever really want to. Um,
There's too many feels in that one.
too many feels like just I mean I don't watch the episode where Ash gives away Pikachu. Like where he's like gonna leave Pikachu with the colony of Pikachus. I don't watch that. Too many feels, okay? But I watch things like Banana Fish. That's beside the point. um
I don't like that pain, but I enjoy this pain. Okay, I
we
get
can
it.
we can get into that at like a later date when we talk about like animes and why I am like I do things like that.
For another
But
season.
right, but like Zuko was kind of like Katara's voice of reason, like at towards the end, right? Because like obviously he was helping her like track down the people who like killed her mother,
Yeah.
but like he kind of like helped her remain in like the now and like who she is, right? Because like she could have like he could have easily just been like, yeah, go ahead, just like murder him,
Bye.
do it, just like take all the water out of their body, blood bend them to murder themselves, like like she there's so many things that like she could have done that like were there for her to do, right? Like she was in that headspace that she was gonna
Yeah, exactly. Zuko's been there before. He's been in that headspace, and he goes, "Katara, you don't want to go there." So that's
So that's why, like, I think they complement each other, right? Because it's like he's gonna help her do what she thinks that she needs, but he's also gonna keep her from doing the thing that's gonna harm her in the future. Because, like, if she were to have done that, she would have she would have ended up crazy like Azula. But like on the opposite spectrum, right? Like but so that's like I think I would have probably been a pretty big like Zutara shipper if I watched it as it was coming out, right? Because like
yeah,
with the way that I introduced myself to Avatar: Last Airbender, like I have just such a place in my heart for like Aang and Katara because like they were my gateway drug. They were the reason.
yeah.
I love them, but like Zuko and Katara are great.
It's that like it's that point of friendship that kind of teeters on that thing. Because the thing is, I know that Zuko knows that her and Aang belong together. That's the kind of thing. But like for the fans, it's something fun to kind of like think about and write the fanfics and the fan art. It's something fun to look and talk about. Just think of all the different other universes because the fans and the internet, we'd be pretty wild. So
I mean, but also to be fair, right? So like Katara and Zuko are like the most popular trope that I know of, which is the bad boy with the good girl. So like they fill that like hole of like in there, right? Because like we don't really get that in like the show, right? Because like none of like the bad guys end up with like the good guys. And I put quotes around it because we say bad boy, we just mean like, the kid that rides motorcycles to school. Because we know that if Zuko was like real, he'd have a motorcycle. Like, let's be honest.
No, he rides his dragon into school.
Okay, he rides his motorcycle that looks like a dragon. Dragons don't exist, Miranda. But right, so like he fills that like bad boy role, and she is like obviously the goody two shoes like mom. Like, so like I think they fill that like beautiful little trope that I love. Calling myself out on that. I love those kinds of tropes.
No, it's good. It's kind of like a boy band. You remember for the boy band days, um, that I do kind of like there was always like the smart one, the bad boy, like the cute one. There's all that kind of they have like their different like little deals
Yeah.
sort of thing. But no,
Yeah.
but obviously Katara and Aang is where it's at. Um,
I mean, it was
the
Endgame. It's canon. Like,
name is canon. Um, but I will say also is moving along is somebody that could put him in his place, and I'm moving forward here is Sokka and Suki.
yes, yes, yes.
The fact that and because I love Sokka, like who doesn't love Sokka? He's just like a fun, quirky character. Everybody can relate with him. None of us are really benders, but he's not. So
I mean, I think like Sokka is that most relatable character, but he also I think has like, if I'm being totally 100% honest, I think he has the most growth throughout the entire show.
oh, for sure. Like if we're gonna talk about not just the shifts but character growth, he's definitely one. Because going from like I wouldn't say was it misogynist? Is that I'm
Yeah,
not
no, he's definitely
is
a little misogyn.
yeah.
No, not a little. He was definitely a lot.
From the beginning, he's misogynist, but then the fact that Suki shows up, kicks his butt, puts him in his place, and then from then on, it was just like a snowball effect. It was that space sword leading an army like of the Southern Water Tribe. It's just like it's great. So having Suki's dynamic to calm him down and make him a better person, I think is absolutely phenomenal. I think they're fan freaking tastic.
Well, and like I think again to like the point of having an older viewership, right? I honestly don't know if like Sokka would have grown as much as he did. I don't know if he would have ended up with Suki because he was obviously in the first season very just our comedic relief. Like,
Yeah, that's what he was wrote into. So
yeah, and so I think that like the Sokka Suki relationship is probably I think the one I don't think about I think a lot, mostly because like I don't ship Sokka with anybody else.
I ship him with people.
I know, but like
Because like yours is for canon because you get into to Korra and he's single, like he's single in Korra kind of thing. So no,
single and ready to mingle. No, I'm just kidding. Kidding.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, but Sokka could hit me up. We
Yeah.
said that we were thirsty, didn't we? Sorry. Okay.
But yeah,
Blah blah blah.
so like again, and then like he can be fun, and she can be fun too, but kind of thing. Um, like they just complement each other very well. It was if you read into the comics after the show, they eventually did break up because again he was single in Korra, and they broke up, and then according to the comics, Suki unfortunately did die of a young age, which then brings in another small ship that not a lot of people talk about, and it was very briefly touched on when I like researched it, so I didn't like go full like dive into it. Is it there because you have Zuko and May,
Hmm.
so there's there, and I believe that they broke up as well. So but then Suki left to go be Zuko's bodyguard. And there was a little something there, but it never took off.
Better not.
Yeah, so like But then again, unfortunately, Suki dies at a younger age. You know, she's like 30 something. I think is what the creators had said. If anybody knows me, better correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I didn't dive too deep into it, but you know, it at the end of the day, it during Last Airbender, they complemented each other very, very well. And then obviously as they grew up, you know, they just kind of grew apart, you know, needed to do their own things because they had two separate like paths in life that they needed to take, and it wasn't going to go good for either one of them being together.
Yeah, and like I think that's also like one of the things that I think I really enjoy with Avatar is like, yes, Suki and Sokka, do ship name. Like they were canon, right? They were endgame at the end of the show, but like the creators also realized that like if you were to play it out, like I get it, right? Because I think that as much as Sokka did grow, don't get me wrong, he grew a lot. But he was still like he still is kind of that like for the fun of it, like
He's still
fun
got
loving guy.
he's still got a jokester side to him.
Yeah, and I think that like for Suki, that just doesn't really work with like what she wants to do. Like she's very serious. Like she's kind of like really goal oriented. Like she knew kind of like what she wanted to do and like how she wanted to go about it. So like it makes sense, right? Like it makes sense in my brain at least that like that's kind of like the progression that ended up being taken with their like relationship. It's sad because like I really did like them together.
It is sad, but you know what's funny is
What?
is that one episode where I forgot how they ended up in the water. And then Toph is just like, "Oh, Sokka, thank you for saving me," and like gives it to him. And Suki's like, Toph, well, it's me," and she goes, "Well, you can just let me drown now." So that again, there is our next one is Sokka and Toph. Like there was nothing ever there, like in the show, but this is something that the fans, I believe, like took off with, you know, and it's actually kind of funny. Like, what are your thoughts on this one?
So I guess I think biggest like I wouldn't say beef, but like annoyance, pet peeve with any of this, I think is just cuz like for me, I really enjoyed Toph as like a character who didn't really have a love interest, right? Like up until like that point, right? Like Toph like really didn't care. Like she was like, I'm gonna live my life and live my life. And like I get that like at some point almost everyone goes through like a phase where they're like, I want a significant other, like I want to date. But like so like I kind of like that's like I think one of the things that like I have like pet peeve with the show is that like yes, it was only like a couple of instances where she was like, you know, oh, like Sokka, like you saved me, and you're like, oh, like Toph like Sokka, but then she also did the whole like, I want to go on an adventure with Zuko too, and it was not like a oh I'm jealous that everyone else is. She was like, I want to go on an adventure with Zuko, you know. So like I think that like those like specific moments for me, like I was just kind of like because I've never shipped really like Toph with anybody. Like I get like the Toph and the Sokka ship because I think we've talked about it before, especially like with Korra and stuff. But like I really enjoy her being just kind of like this badass that like
Yes,
doesn't need no man or
and
a woman to like make her whole, you know?
and when we get into Korra kind of thing, when we finally meet Toph and Korra, and we're like, wait a minute, Toph has two daughters. What the heck? So and I
No, no,
know
no, no. It wasn't that. It goes. We went. Wait a minute. Toph had sex.
Toph did the thing, like
Like,
so,
I
but then like as the show progressed and we discovered that it was their half sisters, and we're like, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, what is Toph sleeping around? Like you wouldn't think that that would be, you know, Toph, and especially you see in the flashbacks in Korra how she's grown up, and you're like, Toph slept around with multiple men. what? Like even though like Lynn's father is a man named Tonto, and even Toph said, oh he was a nice guy, but things just didn't work out, and that happens. And as long as it was mutual, it's mutual. But the thing is, we don't know who Sue's father is, and I'm gonna lay it right now. And I know you know where I'm heading with this. I'm going to lay it right now, and this is the mountain that I will die on top of, is for the fact that I truly believe that in their older age, Sokka and Toph had a secret love child, and that secret love child was Sue. Look at her, all of her children, it's the same skin tone and everything like that. And you go to the flashback where they had what's his face on trial, and it's like, we find you guilty of this, this, and this, and he starts bloodbending everybody, and he bloodbends Toph to get the keys for his cuffs, and then he bloodbends Sokka. You notice that Sokka looks at Toph because he's worried for her because her feet are no longer on the ground. She can no longer see. Like, and he's worried for her, and he can see how scared she is. Like, I'm literally putting it here. Like, the visual evidence is there. If you look deep into this kind of stuff, also, I put it into this. So like back in the Avatar: The Last Airbender, the episode where Sokka was waiting in the tent for Suki. If if Toph can like see through the ground, if anything happens, this poor girl.
I've never thought about that. Oh my god. No! I've never thought about poor Toph literally having to see everyone doing things. And like we know they were doing stuff. Like I don't condone underage, like you're not old enough to do things, but like they definitely were making out in that tent at minimum. Um
Oh my god. Yeah, so just like think about that. So then again you get back into Legend of Korra, and if by this point Toph has had children, and if they
so
had
we know Toph knows how children are made.
yes. So if at this point they had a secret love child and didn't tell anybody, that's one hell of a secret to keep, by the way. But then like the flashback evidence, and then just like the physical evidence of like Sue and all of her kids, like even Opal, like they have I I I will die on top of this mountain to say they had a secret love child and they just didn't tell anybody. I know a lot of people are probably gonna be like, no, it didn't happen. But I will die on top of that mountain. They had a secret.
So when you say they have had a secret love child, are you saying that they just had like a one night stand?
I would put it that way. Yes, I would put it as a one night stand and not like they had a relationship kind of thing.
Okay.
Like they had like feelings, had a one night stand, and we were like, crap. Let's just not tell anybody about this, and then just with their separate
Let's
ways.
not tell anybody, and then like Toph goes, "Oh shit, I'm pregnant."
Damn it.
Wait, okay, I have a question
An answer.
that I didn't think about until just now, but like it goes with our first episode of bending.
No, stop it. No,
Waterbenders, can they? Can they?
we're not going
Can
there.
they?
We're not going there.
Can they though?
It's a
How much of that is
PG show.
I say the F word. It's not PG-13.
Teenagers.
Okay, but I'm not. I just want to know how much water makes up those that. Because I just want to know, like, are waterbenders just have like built-in contraceptive? Because like they can just like be like, no.
Oh, I was going a different route with that one, but okay. I have no idea on that one. I was going the blood bending route.
No, what?
I'll tell you
Where
later.
were you? Where were you going with this? How is my route better than yours? Like, what is happening?
Hold on, I'll text it to you.
I
Not sure this is
I
something we can say on here.
oh no. we're just gonna have like just a muted section of just like just silence for like a minute. Oh God, I'm confused. Uh, but I mean,
I knew you were going with yours, but as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, I'm on a different page. That's why
okay,
I
but I
was
still want to know what.
I'm fixing to find out. Hold on. I don't want to.
Okay,
I don't want to say it in front of the children.
I mean, you could just edit it out. Oh God, oh God, what I'm. Mm, mm, I don't. I'm scared. I'm scared.
I'm putting this in hysterical terms in this text message.
Oh God.
Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Coming. I'm glad I just sent that to you.
Yeah, I was like, maybe double check and make sure you're sending it to me. Oh, 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 oh. I mean, like, yes, like you could, like 100%, like 100%. And like, if it was me, right? Like, if I was a waterbender, I would use my powers for evil. If a guy I did not like or like picked on me and he was up at the front of the class giving a book report, 100% would make it more awkward.
honestly look like a witch.
I don't fucking care. I'd be like, you can know that I did it, but I'm making it awkward for you because you're an asshole.
Like, how did we get on this topic, anyways? So,
Okay.
like,
Um,
oh, my camera. Okay, we're back.
okay, but yeah, so like I can see where you're going. Sorry, like backtrack.
Okay, sorry,
I
guys.
can see where you're going with like Toph and Sokka. But I also do agree, like, that if they ever did do anything, it would have just been like a one night stand. Like, I still think that like it would have ended up very similar to like his relationship with Suki. Like they have. I don't think they have very compatible personalities to live together.
Yeah.
But
No.
that's also because, like, for me, I think that Toph is better off alone.
Sure, for sure. I think like with Sokka and Suki is that they needed to be in a relationship because they honestly made each other better people, and they needed that for a while until it was time for them to go their separate ways. And again,
Yeah.
I agree with you that if it did happen with Sokka and Toph, it would have been a one night stand. Like they thought there might have been something there, get it over with. Okay, we're done. And then Sue happens to come out. So, anyways,
So here's though a relationship that I think could work
okay,
with Sokka.
all right,
Kylie.
interesting.
I feel like that they would complement each other pretty well in a relationship because they both are very like kind of like just like a very like go with the flow but like have fun with it vibe. I think that they would make a pretty
You know,
adorable couple.
I have never thought about it, but I think you might be right on that one. They're both quirky, but they both know how to get serious, like when it needs to happen. So I think I can agree with you on that one. Honestly, I've never heard that one. I've never heard a Sokka and Tylee shit though. So that's extremely interesting to think about.
Like I think it'd be really also really interesting just to see like Kylie grown up, right? Because like I think Kylie was very I don't know how to like I was like have a hard time with words here. But I think she just had a very young mindset, right? Like she didn't really like she kind of just like did whatever Azula said, even though she was like I'm fucking terrified of her, but like she's I guess my friend. Um but she had a very very like young mindset, so I think it'd be really interesting to see her aged up as like an adult with like adult responsibilities cuz I still think that she'd be fun about it. Like she'd just be like walking around on her like freaking hands. But like
Yeah, and
I think that they'd be a cute couple.
yeah, if anybody else has thought about that one or has any links to anything, let us know. I'd love to hear everybody else's opinion on that one because It's been how many years, and that's a new one to me. So
I mean, I could throw out other weird, like, new ones, but, like, I think that's, like, one that's not just, like, a weird to me, like, it makes sense, like,
yeah,
because, like, obviously with, like, Zuko dating May and May and Ty Lee being best friends, like, Sokka would have been able to spend more time with her and not as a, like, "Oh, hey, you're with the crazy lady, we have to fight." So, like, he would have been able to, like, actually, like, have a friendship with her, and that could have turned into, like, a relationship, but, like, I think that, like, theoretically, like, they would have had some sort of, like, relationship, whether it was, like,
yeah.
fun or, like, just friends.
Yeah, and in the Last Airbender universe, that's an extremely interesting one. Like I said, we could go on, but we do have more to talk about. The list is quite vast for this one, so I think we'll just kind of like shotgun through some of these. Um, Others we'll talk a little bit more on, but like it's so now as we venture out of the Last Airbender and into the Legend of Korra, I know there was like the book one was a hot mess of this. Um,
Yeah, I think
we can just look back at our videos and like we had red
God.
scarves, like we were Makora all the way,
Yeah.
but like we went through this like we rode the roller coaster, man.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
like
just like a straight shot. Like
uh,
we went with it, like we had to.
yeah, I look back on that and I'm like, well, that was a time in my life that I was kind of dumb.
Yeah,
Because, like,
exactly.
obviously they freaking spoon fed us this, like, relationship between Mako and Korra. They were like, hey, we have this really attractive guy that's talking to the Avatar and she thinks he's attractive. Like, obviously, like, they spoon fed us this. They were like, hey, we want you guys to think that this is gonna be a relationship. And then Mako kind of turned out to be like a kind of an idiot asshole.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, so, like, I think that we ate the Korra Mako like Wheaties there. We freaking we were tricked. Okay, they did this to us. We didn't have a single, like, thought in our head that was not spoon
Yeah,
fed to us.
they put Splenda on it instead of actual sugar, so they're like,
Yeah, yeah. So, like, and I get it. Again, like, he's like an attractive guy. Like, I admit it. Mako was attractive for
yeah, I will say he is. He's not necessarily my type, but he is definitely attractive within that universe. And then, but honestly, I'm more of a Bolin type of person, cause, but I'm a sucker for because like Bolin's just is great. Like he's funny, he's quirky, he knows how to be serious. Like he's tough.
think he's okay. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I think that Bolin is a better version of Sokka. Um,
I can see that. Yes.
And the only reason why I say this is because Bolin is Sokka at the end of this of ATLA, right? So, like, Bolin has the fully created Sokka, the, like, combination of being able to be serious and useful and, like, not, I mean, like, obviously he's a bender, so he didn't go through the bender phase of, like, oh, I'm not a bender, but, like, that's also, again, it leads into the fact that, like, our creators would they knew their audience. When Korra came out, they knew that it was going to be us, like, high school, fresh out of high school, like, early college kids, right? They knew going in that we were probably not going to take really well to another just, like, Sokka from season 1, right? Cuz, like,
Because when Korra started, Bolin's like a high age teenager, whereas Sokka was like in his early teens. So yeah, it's kind of like he's towards the end kind of thing. But they also made him fun and friendly to be like, hey, maybe we'll throw him into the mix and make this a triangle because I know he wanted, he had feelings for Korra as well, but when he caught Mako and Korra kissing, he was upset about it, you know. But then
Yeah.
really quickly realize, no, that's not gonna work, kind of things. Like, I'll see, I'll see someone and be like, oh, I kind of like that person, kind of like just as me personally, I hang out with them, and after I've hang out with them for a little bit, I'm like, nah, it wouldn't work, kind of thing. But they're like fantastic people to have as friends,
Oh,
but
yeah,
just
yeah.
so that the chemistry wouldn't work. And where, and I know some people would ship, Bolin and Korra, but again, it to me it'd be a chemistry thing. Like at the beginning, Mako and Korra had chemistry, but then it slowly faded off. And then
Yeah, I mean, I think so with Bolin though, right? Like he's kind of like another one of those for me that like I don't really truly ship him with anybody. Um Not in the same way that I ship don't ship anyone with Toph, right? Like I think that Bolin would be a really great boyfriend. I ship Bolin with myself.
hey,
But
hey, back off, back off.
look, okay, like Bolin is my type too. Not just because he's a earthbender, ma'am.
We'll be in one of those relations.
Yeah, it's just, polyamorous relationship. We're good. But like I think for him is there is no one that we really ran into in the show for me that I felt like would complement him really well.
Yeah.
Because like I know another like one we have on here is like Bolin and Opal.
Mhm.
Um, but and again, like I said, like I don't think that there was anything like to me again like it's a personal preference I guess, but like I don't foresee anyone from the show that was like a good fit for
Yeah,
him.
I see, and here's the thing: it's like I can see, I think Bolin and Opal are a fantastic couple. Um, Also for the fact that it's not an in your face kind of couple. What you got?
Look, I was gonna say if you want Bolin and Opal to be a couple, I know that the only reason why you want that is because Opal comes from Toph, and
Listen,
I just said that Bolin is Sokka 2.0. Okay,
listen.
listen, I know the hill that you're gonna die on, and it sorry, the mountain that you're gonna die on, and it just like trickles into everything else.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. I wasn't thinking about that one, but it's one of those things where I think their relationship wouldn't be like an in your face like a Mako and Korra one was. It's like a nice subtle background kind of storyline. And for the fact that say like if Bolin and Opal get married, like Bolin then will be like a married related to Toph and who's his idol. She's my idol too. But I mean, you just think about it. You know, and then you bringing in the Sokka 2.0, we've just come full circle, like you said. But I don't know. I think the Bolin and Opal ship is a fun one because they go through their ups and downs as well, and it's a nice like on the side, not in your face kind of thing. Because when you get to book 4 and he's thinking he's doing the right thing with Kuvira, and Opal's like, nah, you're totally you're with the wrong person. She's misleading you. And they go then, and it takes a while for him to realize, no, Opal's right, I'm wrong. And that I think makes a person, no matter if you're man or woman, but to admit that you're wrong and to apologize for it and be like, I know you'll never forgive me, but I or whatever, and then she winds up forgiving him. But like I think it's good that way. They went through that trauma and that turmoil, and she winds up forgiving him anyway because he tries to right his wrongs. Because he was just trying to do the right thing, and he was doing what he thought was right. And Opal's like, yeah. But anyway, I think they complement each other very well, and like it gets a nice kind of side one. So I like that one.
Yeah, I
What about
definitely
you?
get that because, like, I mean, I think that one of the things that Korra did that Avatar didn't was it definitely pushed a lot more relationships on us.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people don't like Legend of Korra as much, and I think that's one of the reasons. But
And so like I think that like because I get that right, like I like that like their friendship relationship was not necessarily like a, oh hey, like here's a guy and a girl, they're gonna like do the thing, you know, because like that was, I think, one of like the biggest, I think, it just kind of like an issue with like Korra is just like, especially that first season was like every single like person had, I think, a pairing. Like it did not matter like who the pairing was, but there was like basically pairings that were kind of like spoon fed to us. Like
Yeah.
we didn't have this like background possibility of like with like Bullen and Opal, right? Because it was like
Yeah.
that whole thing that I said with like Sokka and Ty Lee, right? That's like a background thing that like you can like pick up on like how they are and like what could possibly happen in the future. Whereas, like, I think with like Korra, because like again, like I said with Toph too, in Avatar, like there was never really until those two moments, there was never really like a hey, Toph likes this person. Like it was not shoved in your face and like spoon fed to us like I think that Korra did. And I think that again, it has something to do with the fact that they knew that their audience was older. And
Sure.
and like, you know, a lot of us like do ship, you know, they knew that we like to ship people together. And so they just kind of spoon fed it to us. And
And then as we like kind of went along, we're like, okay, okay, that's enough. No, no, I'm good. Okay, all right, okay, all right, you know.
yeah. We're like, I'm full. I'm full. I don't you moved too far out of the way. And it like
I know it's
I thought you were gone. But
I
yeah,
love
no, we're kind of like we were kind of like, I'm full. I don't want any more of this cereal that you're trying to feed us.
it.
Um no. Um but yeah, so I think that like I don't have as many like ships with Korra that I'm like, oh my god, I will die on this hill.
They gave them all to us. We're like, we're just not gonna leave anything to your imagination. We're just gonna shove it all at you.
Yeah.
But I think the one relationship that like did happen though that was absolutely hysterical, and we got some background info on it, and it just like it it just totally changed the friendship dynamic, and then like was actually movement forward for both these characters for us to learn this was the fact that like what is it oh god, Tenzin and Lin actually had a thing way back when, before Tenzin married Pema. Like I thought that was hysterical.
Well, I think that yes, that was hysterical. One, because like they still like communicate with each other, but I think that they put that relationship in to be like Sokka and Toph did not have a relationship, and they did not bone to create Lin, because like that was right. That was the big thing, right? We had no earthly idea in the beginning who Lin's father was, and so all of us were like, "Oh, am I like also blurry?"
No, you're good.
Okay, maybe it's just my eyes. But like we were like, like maybe Lin's father is Sokka. But then like they were like, oh, Tenzin and Lin slept together, and you were like, well, that would be a little freaking weird if Tenzin's mom is the sibling of Lin's dad. So we were like, that's like they'd be cousins. So I think that like honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I think that they were like, you know, people are gonna think this, so we're gonna like also throw this relationship in there to like, we're not gonna say that Toph never slept with Sokka, but we're gonna say that they did not have a relationship to create a child.
Yeah, so I think it was that, and the fact that there was a moment within Korra that story needed to be told, so both characters could grow a bit and kind of like move forward, because they kind of hated each other. They're like, at the beginning they hated each other, and then at the end they're like, no, like, we're best friends. Nothing will happen to either one of us. As long as we're around, kind of thing. So, but another like cringeworthy kind of couple, and we'll just touch base on this one really quick because there's not much to it, is the Bolin and Eska fiasco.
Oh my god. Like, I think it's really funny. Definitely not like an end game thing for
Oh
me.
no, not at all.
That's a like through like, you know how like you date people that you obviously know that you're not gonna end up with at the end. Like, yeah. That's what that is.
So that was just a funny one, and the season 2 or the book 2 of Korra wasn't quite my favorite, but it was a pivotal one again to move all the storylines forward that they had planned. But another quick one to touch up on before we end with our power couple, because we're running out of time here, is that our uh our our thing is the thing. Our thing couple is Varric and Julie. Is I thought, like, we all saw it coming at the end, but the fact that when he finally popped the question, he goes, "Julie, will you do the thing?" I'm just like, bless, like, absolute bless. I think I remember both of us watching it together. I don't know if we recorded that episode or not. I'll have to go back through the archives. And
No idea.
just like, I was just dying. I was dying. I was so happy that.
Well, I mean, because like for them, like right, that was kind of like something they fed us, but was more of a like. Like I'm trying to think of like something to compare it to, but like it's how you feel whenever you watch a sports anime, and it's very gay, but they're not actually gay, in canon.
I've seen a couple of them.
So their relationship was kind of like that, right? Because like they like worked together. You saw them together all the time, and it was like, yeah, we all were like, is there something? But then they were just kind of like, just there, right? Like I honestly thought that like it was just never going to be touched on. It was just going to be like you just got to deal with it. Like you got to figure it out.
Yeah,
Like it's the
they threw us the curveball of, she was like, "I hate you, Varric, bye. I'm with Kuvira." And then at the end, she was like, "Nah, screw you, Kuvira. I'm going back to my man." Like,
yeah, and
like,
like I think, like I said, like that was one that like they kind of like fed to us, but then we're like, will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? Yeah, that like I said, it's the sports anime feel of it's the fucking Yuri on Ice. Like, are they in a relationship? Are they not?
you
I
know,
don't freaking know. Yeah.
there we go.
So like I think that's like a good, just like I think they did a good with that one in my mind.
And I think they did a phenomenal with our last couple here. They broke many boundaries with this one, and even continued on to the comics. Is our lovely Kurosami. So we've got
Yep.
Miranda and Asami. So I definitely approve of this one. They broke many boundaries with this, and I think they were fantastic boundaries to break. Um, but yeah, I thought it was great because not only do you have Korra, who's a good, you know you know good powerhouse female character, but then you have Asami, who's just straight up a badass, and she's not even a bender. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's
Asami is like I it's Asami. Like I don't
I
even
love
like
Asami.
compare.
I think she is like my idol. Like if I had a non-bending idol, definitely Asami. So, but and the fact that they left it till the end, and again, this wasn't in your face. This was literally at the last second. They were like, "No, this is a thing." Poor Mako boy couldn't catch a break, but
Uh
they did both
well,
too.
and so I think I remember that when I first watched Korra, right? Like I was not as big of an Asami Korra
No,
shipper as I am now.
you can literally sit
Um
and watch the videos of both of us hating Asami. Like, we hated Asami when she first
it's
showed
not
up.
even it's not even that, right? Like even at the end, right? Like the very last scene when they're like walking off into the spirit world together. Like I remember kind of being upset because I felt like it was very like just like thrown in there, right? Like I felt like they were like, like yeah, but it's like it's interesting to go back with Korra and rewatch it. And it's the same thing that happens when I watch Avatar The Last Airbender. Like I don't know how many times I've watched it and I've like come up with something new, like little things that they added in that it's like, oh, like they added that for later. Um and so like there is like hints of it, right? There is this like because like it's also not even like a oh like we're like together. It's like a oh hey like you're the person I want to do this with. Like you're like my person, and it wasn't like a hey we're off to go fuck in the spirit world. It's sorry like but the way that it was like presented was more of a like you're my person that I want to spend time with and do this with, as compared to like a you're the person I want to be in a relationship with. It was more of like a
And you're right about that one too, because their relationship does extend off into the comics, where Cora tells her parents about the relationship and they're ecstatic, and then like I think and they fought in the comics too about their relationship, because they wanted some people to know, some people not to know, because they were worried, you know, just like just like any couple kind of would sometimes. But like you'd have to go back and read the comics. They're absolutely fantastic with where their relationship kind of takes off there as well. But they still very much care for each other, and it's a very feeling of a, I want to be with you feeling, and not just like a, oh yeah, we threw this in at the last minute. They kept it going, and there's more to their story than just walking off into the spirit world together. It's like the comics start, boom, they're in the spirit world and they take off, because like I think Korra wanted to take Asami to the spirit world and have like a nice date and like just have some time together and whatnot. And it wound up becoming a disaster. And Cora was so upset about it. And Asami's like, no, it's fine. I just wanted to spend time with you. That's all that mattered, kind of thing. And then it progresses on from there. So that is truly like probably one of the best ones. It wasn't thrown at us at the time. It seemed kind of cliche, but now as we've gotten older and how honestly the world has changed, a lot of people's views have changed about things like that. And just I thought I just love, it's a powerhouse couple. I think it's
Well,
a
yeah,
double
that
powerhouse couple.
well, because they're both like I think top tier in like what they do. Like obviously Korra's the Avatar, like, but like Asami is like kind of like in my mind, right? If you could have like a top tier non-bender, that's Asami. Like Korra is the top tier bender, Asami is the top tier non-bender. Like it makes sense that like they would have a relationship of sorts, whether it be like friends, enemies, or like lovers, right? They would have, but like they would have like some sort of relationship going. And like I said, like if you rewatch it and you watch for like these things of like cues that like were Asami and Korra liking each other versus like
Mm-hmm.
the other stuff that was going on. Like I think that they planned this from the beginning because they were just like, ha ha ha, have fucking Mako and Korra doing their thing while we're gonna secretly behind your backs like feed this other thing that you don't know that you want, right? Like
Right. And then just poor Mako just kind of got just drugged through the mud with it. So
look,
I
he
think
freaking
Mako.
deserves it, okay? Like
I think I
I
think
just
I think at the end of the day, I think I can see Mako being the one just kind of doing his own thing for Korra.
I think that Mako is I don't even know how to say it. I was gonna say too into himself to really be with someone else, but like I think that Mako is better off alone,
Yeah.
not in a like, oh, like Toph is really good alone because she's like a super powerful person. But like I think for Mako, it's more of a like he needs to be alone to
Right.
grow.
Honestly,
I
I think he would become the next chief of police. Because that's his deal. He just wants to be a detective and just do his job. He's one of those workaholics. Where it's just he's in a relationship with his work. That's
Yeah, so this is what'll happen. This is what'll happen. We'll have with the Avatar Studios a Hallmark style movie of Mako being the workaholic, not having any time for anything outside of work, and then someone from his past, like a like girlfriend from like, I don't know, high school, is gonna come back around, and then he'll be like, I don't have time, and she's gonna be like, I'm gonna show you how to have fun. So
wow. Like a Hallmark Christmas movie, man. And
yeah,
there's got to be snow. So that's
that's what I'm
fantastic.
saying.
That's
That's what I'm
fantastic.
saying. It's what's gonna happen.
We're copying that right now. Nobody can steal it.
Look, 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 look. It's okay. It's okay if you guys steal it. Just give us the royalties for it. Cause like
Royalties
I
would be nice. We're two struggling 30-year-olds. So
adults. Yeah, I'm like we're two struggling adults. Can't say like struggling college kids anymore.
we're struggling millennials.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah. So I think that
We're
like
trying so hard.
so yeah. But I do think that like Mako. is better off alone for now, right? For like his personal like growth, because like I don't think he's in a place to be in a relationship.
Me neither. But yeah, no. Just Asami and Korra, I think is just I I I think that's the powerhouse to end it with.
Yeah,
I truly enjoyed it because looks like we're out of time.
we're out of time. You guys enjoyed talking, listening to us talk. I can't even talk apparently. If you guys enjoy listening to us talk, please like and subscribe this video, and then like also like say nice things in the comments.
Ring the bell for notifications so you get all the
Yeah,
updates. Let us know what your favorite ships are down below. Your thoughts. Do you have any other wild ships that we didn't talk about that you'd like to know more about, or just talk to us in the comments about? So just let us know all that down below. Again, like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications.
and we'll see you guys next time.
I'm Miranda.
I'm Cassidy, and we're nerds, and you gotta deal with it. Every time. It's so weird. It's fine. It'll sound good whenever we like post it. It's just weird for me because like the delay.
There is. So I've started editing these things, and there is a delay. So I'll see how it is with this mic, but with like my other crappy mic, like my part was muddled. It's always muddled at the end. So we'll see how crisper it is with this one. Because like I said, I bought this thing for like $60. So it's not. If I really wanted to blow the money, I would have gotten a nice like Shure microphone
Oh yeah.
for podcasting. But
But like yeah, Shures are expensive.
they're like 200 something. I was like, I'd rather buy a desk robot, a desk pad with it. So
Dude, yeah, desk pet. I want one. I want one. But I was like I'd play with it for like all of like a month and then I'd probably forget that it existed. So
oh no, he would bother me. So I would always know that he's here.
okay, I'm gonna turn this off so it doesn't die.
Do that.
Boop. Yay! Also, oh, you can't see it. You can't see it. I bought some things the other day.
What did you get?
You can't see the top row.
Yo, rainbow pants.
Oh yeah, my rainbows.
Oh my god. Why?
Because they had it at this bookstore I went to.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that a bookstore? I thought you were like, Amazon, I'm gonna hurt myself.
No, I don't even have 1 and 2 because the bookstore didn't have it. So now I'm gonna have to like find it somewhere. But they have this Japanese bookstore called Kinokuniya. Um it's amazing. They also they have a spicy reading section.
A spicy.
A spicy manga reading section. Yeah, I have
See this.
hold on. I can show you what I have that I got from there. I'll like next time I go take a picture cuz it's tagged as spicy reading. Like you know how at like half price they have like little labels like on the shelf like right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this literally says spicy reading. But look, I have Yowie.
Ooh.
I have a place to get this and it's not online.
That's fair. I personally, I would love to buy the books and stuff, but for me, like buying physical copies, one, I don't have anywhere to put them. I live in a 11 by 13 room, and I even had to build all of these drawers. I had to build in order to get more storage to maximize my space. But also like they would just sit there and collect dust. Like I wouldn't go back and read them, like you would. Like you've got
I
to
do, yeah. I
I
reread stuff.
if I wanted, I'll
Okay,
just go and
but also apparently spicy manga is more expensive than regular manga. It's annoying.
you have to pay for this.
Like this is $12.99. This is $12.99, not $9.99 like mangas are supposed to be.
That one looks like a good one. Oh, is that called hide and seek?
Hide and Seek. It's actually really cute. And then by the same author, Bond of Dreams, Bond of Love, also really cute.
Okay.
And then this one is a single by fucking Tokyo Pop, and it's still $12.99. Sherry, My Destiny. It's a single, like it's like it's just a one shot. Super cute. It's about like
I'm still
two different pastry artists. So
still waiting for that one like spicy non-yaoi one to update. It's a Korean manga that I sent you when I was back in Texas. But anyway, so because I still have to go eat dinner. I haven't eaten anything yet. So for next week, what are we thinking?
oh, did you get your schedule?
Hmm.
Oh, we're talking about like
Episode wise, like if we can keep on the if you want to keep on the Tuesday route, we definitely more than welcome to keep the Tuesday route. I will never not get out past 10.
okay, I'd say we keep on the Tuesday route because, like, even if I have to work a Tuesday, I don't have to work closing on Tuesday right now. So,
Yeah.
um, and because closing for us is 10, which is a little too late for you for me getting home.
My roommate
Like,
got his car back. I can hear it through my headphones and through the wall. He drives like an SUV with an exhaust leak, so it sounds like he's got a moped engine in it. You can hear him coming
ah,
from a mile away. Um, yeah, I put a note on my door. It says recording, so they know not to bother him.
not to like knock
But
on the
we're
door, but like, hi.
but we're done with the main recording part, so I'm not too worried about.
Yeah. Well, and I couldn't
Um,
hear it, so I think we're good.
yeah, with the condenser mic, it basically it only picks up what's in front of the mic. There's nothing it picks up.
Yeah.
So we have. I need to add another. I'm gonna add another folder in here or another file. Oh, not that. Another doc, another sheet. That's a doc. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna title episode yet. I think we'll leave this one to towards the end. I think this will be like the last episode of our deal.
Which
Um,
one are you? Are you making a new one?
yeah, I'm making a new one.
Where is shared with me?
Okay, that's all I'm gonna do.
That's the weapons one.
All right, it's already added on this. So.
Okay, let me refresh real quick.
So it's the because you prefer.
Oh yeah, because I've for Last Airbender and you yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one to go. So I'll title that episode.
Okay, so we have what, 4, 6,
It's gonna be episode 12.
so we need, I think, like 2 more episode ideas.
And we don't necessarily have to have them right now.
No, yeah, we just have it before we get there.
Do we
We
want to
could
do the rest of these?
not really, just because like we unless we know what order we want to do them in. Obviously leave comics till late.
Yeah, we'll do the
Also, the comics, though, I feel like we could separate them, right? Like, I feel like it's going to be more than like one episode. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So we could do Last Airbender comics, and then we could do Legend of Korra comics. That could be two different because that's a lot.
yeah, I think so. So we'll have to separate them out in here so we can have like 2 separate things for it. But like leave them for later, like maybe like before we get to like which we prefer.
Yeah, so
Like
we'll we'll
do
we'll save those to do right before.
10 and 11 because I have to read all the comics before that happens.
I have to go back and reread them again as well. Um, so the comics we could do. You want to title that 10 and 11?
Yeah, yeah, I can do that one.
Okay.
Boop, doop, doop. Let me type. 10 and 11. Um, I was thinking we could probably maybe talk about like OG benders next episode.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because I think, if we want to, we could keep the. So what we could do is, we could do OG Benders next, and then we could talk about the comics, and say that spans, yeah, it spans 2 episodes, and then the last one will be the which one do we prefer. Um, so the new studio could probably go in front of the comics, and then OG Benders will be, episode 5 for us. And then
Yes, episode 5. And then, so we also have like maybe like talking about like the different weapons. We can
yeah,
figure that out
we haven't
later.
we haven't done the weapons yet.
Um, okay, so 5 has been labeled. Let's see, what else do I have? We have on here. We have like the character breakdown. So we could like we still have that, which can like because we've talked about it like throughout anyways of like who
Yeah,
and what like with like
because
Sokka.
so like I said, so like, character breakdown could be episode 9, and then we'll talk about that, and then we hop into the comics.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I figured we could do.
9, 10, 11. Okay, so 4, 6. Uh,